Hi, Jim here with my thoughts for today. Obviously, the big issue of the day is Iran. What's happening? Well, it was what was happening with, or what is happening with Israel and Iran, but now it also includes what's happening with Iran and us after Trump, wisely, in my opinion, and obviously in the opinion of most people, except a few isolationists on the left and the right. Well, isolationists on the right and Trump haters on the left, which is basically the left. But since Trump took out those three nuke sites, at least, well, they're doing the damage assessments, but it looks like we took them out. Anyways, there are other issues going on in the world, and I want to talk about something. This is immigration. Now, this story I'm going to share. This actually came out a few days ago, but I'm getting to a certain thought I have about it right now, the problem that it creates for Democrats, and that issue is immigration. So let's go right to the story, and I'll give you three paragraphs, three quotes, and then give you my thoughts. Homan reports illegal immigrant encounters reach lowest number ever recorded. Trump administration czar Tom Homan on Tuesday announced illegal alien encounters at the southern border had fallen to the lowest number ever recorded. Over the past 24 hours, he wrote, Border Patrol officials encountered just 95 illegal aliens. This, Homan said, marks a drastic contrast with the thousands per day which entered the country under former President Joe Biden. That is the lowest number ever recorded, Homan wrote. On top of that, they released the vast majority into the U.S. How many were released under Trump for May? Zero. Compare that to the 62,000 aliens Biden released in May of last year. And the border wall is far from being finished, and you see these results. So obviously, it's obvious that the Biden administration, or whoever was running the government, but that's another thought for another day. Whoever is using the auto pen, but obviously it was deliberate. Biden administration, the Democrats, they deliberately threw the border open to let unlawful aliens flood in, which could cause big problems for us, because now we do have to talk about Iran, actually, because there's a talk of sleeper cells. I believe it was 160,000 Iranian nationals that came in under Biden, under his open border policy, or open border disregard for our immigration laws. So that obviously is a big problem, but there's also a problem for the Democrats, because one day there's going to be, well, even the midterm elections, but definitely when we have a presidential election, the question becomes, well, there's a reason, I guess, that the Republicans are often called the stupid party. I hope they're not this stupid, too stupid not to ask to make an obvious charge that if the Democrats are put in power, they will throw the borders open again. Now, you have to remember that even lawful aliens in the country, American citizens who are immigrant citizens, they are also overwhelmingly, or definitely a majority, I don't have a poll in front of me, in favor of Trump's policies. They don't want, because it's usually their neighborhoods at these MS-13 and Tren de Aragua. Those are the neighborhoods they often move into, probably usually, maybe always move into. So the problem that Democrats have is Republican, as I said, unless I was going to say if they're smart, but I should say unless they're really stupid, will say, if you elect the Democrats, just challenge it in any debate. Say, okay, just to admit that if you come to power, if America elects Democrats again, that the borders will be thrown open again. And the Democrat candidate, whoever that is, the Democratic Party, is going to have a lot of convincing to do, a lot of to say, we admit it, threw the borders open, but we won't do it this time. That's basically the argument they have to make. Or deny, well, they can't deny it. I mean, that's the other obvious argument, because the there was a record low. There was record low unlawful immigration when entering the country during Trump's first term, and then this enormous jump during Biden's term, and now, as Holman just reported, the lowest unlawful alien encounters at the border ever. So it's obvious anybody Republican just has to point to that, and how the Democrats they have to say, well, the other problem they say, okay, if they just say, well, we're going to we'll keep the border closed, it will be just as secure as when Trump was president, and you're going to get just kicking and screaming from the far left base of their party. They'll alienate their base, and then they won't be able to win that way either. You understand that that's the bind that they are in. It's similar to the bind that the Democratic Party was in. I remember elections going way back where you had Eugene McCarthy, you had Mondale, you had McGovern, and Democrats could not get elected at the presidential election until Clinton came along, and he had his famous Sister Souljah moment, and he portrayed himself as a liberal, maybe a liberal Democrat, or he probably portrayed himself as a moderate to liberal, as I recall, but culturally conservative, a traditional Southern Democrat. But maybe the Democrats have to nominate somebody from the South, but they have to come up with a nominee who is acceptable to the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes and the Jasmine Crockett's and the Bernie Sanders wing of the party. And boy, they have their work cut out for them. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, how they cope with this. And that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Your comments always welcome in the comment section below this video. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. But most of all, come back and see me again. I'd love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.